CTV News with Matt Grillo.
Good evening. A controversial decision that threatens access to subsidized daycare for children of immigrants is now on hold. Quebec has suspended the measure while it reviews files, but critics say the damage is already done. Laurence Brisson-Dubreuil reports.
Quebec is backtracking for now. The province says children of immigrants with open work permits can stay in subsidized daycares while their files are under review. Silvana Wallace, who speaks for thousands of early childcare workers, says the pause comes too late.
These families suddenly found themselves facing precarious living conditions because they could obviously lose their jobs in the face of not having a place to leave their children.
The Ministry of Families told centers on Friday to keep agreements in place for those already enrolled. The move reverses a July 9th directive targeting parents with open work permits. Liberal MNA Jennifer Macaron accuses the government of playing politics on the backs of vulnerable children.
This is really the CAC creating an issue so that they can create a false solution to something that was never a problem in the past.
She says denying them daycare spots denies them a fair start.
If we want to integrate them, if we want them to learn French, if we want them to be part of Quebec society, that starts with early childhood education.
The ministry declined an interview and referred us to a social media post from Family Minister Suzanne Roy. In it, she writes, the regulation still applies. Parents who aren't eligible will not benefit from a subsidized place, adding that children already in the system will be reviewed case by case. Roy says the policy dates back to 1997 to prioritize Quebec families. But lawyer Olga Redko argues that's false.
It's an interpretive problem, and read properly, the regulation already protects open work permit holders' rights to access these subsidized spaces.
Her firm represents two families who threatened legal action if the directive stands. Redko says the current uncertainty puts many parents in an impossible position.
Lots of parents in this situation simply can't afford to send their children to private daycares, which can cost from $45 a day upwards.
Advocates say compassion is needed and for the directive to be permanently scrapped. But for now, the future remains uncertain. It's still not clear how long the ministry's review will take or whether these families will be allowed to stay. Laurence Brisson-Dubreuil, CTV News.
A man in his 60s has died following a crash on Highway 20 in Baie-D'Urfé. It happened around 8:30 this morning. The driver was traveling westbound, lost control of his vehicle. The car ended up in a ditch and the man was ejected from the vehicle. The Sûreté du Québec is investigating. It was another hot day in Quebec, and today Montreal had some of the worst air quality in the world. Wildfires in the prairies are causing the smoky air and reduced visibility. An Environment Canada warning recommends limiting time spent outdoors. A stagnant air mass is contributing to the intensity of the smoke, but better air circulation is expected on Sunday. While Montreal struggles with poor air quality, the National Bank Open Tennis Tournament kicks off. This year, the women are playing in Montreal, and organizers say it's the biggest one yet. Sweeta Rassi reports.
The National Bank Open is officially underway at Jerry Park.
Yeah, it's great. I come to this event every year.
But this year's event is bigger than ever.
We're getting ready to host basically double the number of athletes that we've had in the past.
Tournament director Valerie Tetreault says that out of 96 female players, at least 8 are Canadian, a record high. And speaking of records, she's confident this year will draw the largest crowd yet.
And I would say that we're tracking more towards the 250,000 people for this year's event.
Part of it is because the event will last 13 days instead of the usual 7.
This will allow a little bit more recovery time also for the players.
While many are taking part in the activities, the city is facing a heat warning and poor air quality.
It is really hot. That's why we have water spray, so we can be okay and fine.
But that isn't slowing them down, as some are eager to see their favorites play.
We're waiting for Alex Iala. We hope to see her today. We're here, proud Filipinos.
As for Montreal's own Eugenie Bouchard, this year's tournament marks her last as she steps away from professional tennis.
So it'll be an emotional week for sure, but I just want to embrace every moment and really appreciate it and see it as a happy kind of celebration.
For many here, it's all about enjoying the sports with the ones they love.
At least they'll see what tennis is. Maybe they'll have the love for it. Maybe one day they'll play. Maybe not with me.
The finals are set for August 7th. Sweeterasi, CTV News.
It was a big day on the court for Laval's Leila Fernandez. Fernandez is on to the finals of the City Open. She beat third seed Elena Rybakina 6-7, 7-6, 7-6. Fernandez will face Anna Kalinskaya in the final tomorrow, and she is scheduled to play in the National Bank Open in Montreal this coming week. The Montreal SPCA rescued 29 cats from a small apartment. The SPCA says Montreal police contacted them on July 22nd. The call was to take in more than 20 felines, including moms and their kittens. Animal Advocacy Director Sophie Gaillard says the tenants lost control of the situation and adds the animals were not sterilized.
There were issues related to the cleanliness of the premises, and the guardians were ready to surrender the cats. So we dispatched our teams urgently to go to the scene and take in the animals. We had a number of people enter the apartment, catch the cats, put them in transporters. There ended up being 29 cats that we took in to the SPCA. We're able to figure out how to house them because we're already very full at this time of year.
The SPCA says the pets will be available for adoption shortly. It's offering half-price adoptions for cats 1 year and older until August 3rd. Well, he first learned how to cut hair in high school, then he trained at a barber shop. Now a 16-year-old has founded One Haircut at a Time to help raise money for Ukraine. Here's Olivia O'Malley.
Alexander Yakimu-Martin first learned to cut hair in school. Now a part-time barber, he takes each client's haircut seriously, with passion and precision. But lately, each cut has taken on more meaning.
I wanted to do something personal to help Ukraine. So I'm a barber, so I thought, why not use that skill to do some good?
The 16-year-old created Haircuts for Hope. He first got the idea after giving a haircut to a Ukrainian refugee at his church. Now he's doing it at Dynasty Barbershop in Pointe Claire, where he's worked for the past year. He donates $10 from every cut to help keep lights on in classrooms and rebuild schools in war-torn Ukraine.
It gives them the same chance that I have to learn with light and without bombs.
The teenager says he feels lucky to live here, especially since he has relatives back in Ukraine. What's happening to his family's home country is never far from mind. He wears a Ukrainian trident around his neck, a symbol of resilience amid the ongoing fight for freedom.
My grandparents are Ukrainian. My parents are Ukrainian. We grew up speaking Ukrainian in our house, and we stayed really close to our heritage.
His co-workers say taking on the fundraiser at such a young age proves why he's a cut above the rest.
I'm super proud of him, and all of us here are. It's super cool that he could use his passion and his craft to fund this whole thing and make a real difference in the world.
Yakimu-Martin is well on his way to raising his goal of $1,000.
It's nice knowing that my money's going to a good cause.
You want a texture pad or no?
Especially when his clients are so pleased with the end result.
I love it. It's great, yeah. He's an amazing barber.
Yakimu-Martin hopes the buzz continues to grow so he can give back even more to schools in Ukraine. Olivia O'Malley, CTV News.
Weather brought to you by Gratian Scaff's second pair is a gift event, including designer frames for a limited time.
And now for a look at your forecast. We are sitting at 25 degrees in Montreal, a little cooler elsewhere in Quebec, 17 in Sherbrooke and 18 in Quebec City. More warm weather for tomorrow. Environment Canada has issued a heat warning for Montreal. With the humidex, it is expected to be close to 40 degrees tomorrow afternoon. And it will remain hot and humid to start the week. We will have plenty of sunshine on Monday, a chance of showers on Tuesday. Wednesday is expected to be sunny with the high nearing 30 degrees. This week was National Drowning Prevention Week, and here in Quebec it happens to fall on construction holiday. A very busy time for aquatic activities like swimming at the beach, the pool, or at the lake. To talk more about water safety, we are joined now by Reynald Hawkins, the Executive Director of Quebec's Life Saving Society. Thanks for joining us.
It's a real pleasure for me to be here.
So it looks as though so far this year there have been more drowning deaths in Quebec compared to 2024. Is there a particular reason for that?
Yes, we think so, because inside the data we have this year, if you remember, we have 4 persons who died in the water because they were on the medical helicopter in the Côte-Nord. So when we have 4 death fatalities at the same event, increase the number. But also we try to compare the weather we had last year and this year. And what I can tell you is this year we have more high temperature than last year, and last year we have maybe a little bit more raining days. So usually when is the beautiful weather and very hot like today, people they want to go near or in or on the water, so increase also the probability to have those death fatalities in water.
I want to talk about the Verdun Beach. It's been a major concern so far this summer. We've seen 3 drownings near that area, near the beach. Is it a question of strong currents in that water, or do certain areas around the beach, in your opinion, do those areas need to be more secure?
You know what? When the Verdun arrondissement established these facilities with the beach in Verdun, they work with the hydrographic expert, and that's why you can see those rocks to try to cut those current we can have inside the river. So that's why they established a swimming lane and also another lane to make sure everyone can be very safe on this place. When you took the decision to go outside of those swimming lanes, you increase the probability to have those strong currents and those vortex. And I'm very sure the investigation report from the coroner will tell us about that, because this is the only explanation we can have. Or maybe the relative of those victims, they will express to us, maybe the victim, they were not very strong swimmer, and is very important for us. When you see the swimming area with lifeguard on duty, I think this is the appropriate place where you can swim inside the rivers, because we have strong currents, because we have those vortex, particularly the days after very storms or very raining days increase the level of the water and also those currents. This is why we can see those signs, don't go there, swim is allowed, because we have strong currents and you have the risk of drowning. So I think it's very important to follow those water safety tips.
So, and let's get into some safety tips here. There are different safety precautions to keep in mind depending if you're at the pool, the beach, spending time at a lake, nearby a river, perhaps. When people are next to water or planning to go in water, what should be their top safety priority?
First of all, never be alone. Doesn't matter the age, gender, boating, or aquatic activities. 50% of the drowning victims, they were alone during those death fatalities. So no one can try to reach you. No one can contact 911, for example, or no one can explain to us the true story about what exactly happened. So never be alone. For sure, if you're not very good swimmer, you have 2 choices. Stay on the shallow end, refresh your body, or wear a personal flotation device, because you need to increase your safety component and make sure you're going to be on the surface, not necessarily under the surface of the water. And when you are on boat, is very important to wear those personal flotation device, because 80% of the drowning boat fatalities, we can express that because they didn't wear appropriately their life jacket. And we know this is a real difference between a drama situation versus a good stories to explain to your relative. And for parents, doesn't matter where, okay, you need to understand the expression of the arm reach. If the kid is not very accessible from your arms, that means he's too far. So that's why it's very important. It doesn't matter if it's a backyard pool, beaches, water park, please make sure your young children will be very close to you.
Just real quickly, parents cannot just rely on a lifeguard, right? They have to also be involved.
No. Yeah, very sure. And particularly when they have a backyard pool and they have those pool party, we have many adults, but who have this responsibility to be on guard. So that's why it's very important to establish this is your time for the next 20 minutes. You're going to supervise the kid all the time.
Reynald Hawkins with the Life Saving Society, thank you so much for this.
It's a real pleasure for me.
Time now for In Case You Missed It. A woman in St. Anne de Bellevue says she is badly in need of a service dog, but the waiting list is long and the cost is out of her reach. Here's Stéphane Giroux.
For Josie Saint-Onge, tasks as simple as preparing a meal can become a painful endeavor because she suffers from a disease called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
And of course the biggest issue is damage from all the instability in the joints over time.
Something as simple as opening a door or bumping into someone can lead to joints dislocating.
I don't have any ligaments supporting my wrist, and most of my fingers are very, very mobile, so they tend to pop out very easily.
Saint-Onge, who's a registered nurse, works part-time from home interacting with patients. But what she needs the most is a service dog that could help her with her mobility.
So she'll be helping me, open doors, open my stove, my fridge. She's trained to be able to go get my phone, go get me water, retrieve dropped items.
Quebec's two agencies that provide service dogs are overwhelmed with the demand from people with physical or mental limitations.
It breaks our heart to receive all these calls, to receive all these emails, and that we just can't help. We feel helpless at times just because we can't help these people.
The cost is also prohibitive without the backing of a charity.
Calculate our dogs in the average of our program, so we estimate it at like $35,000. So it's really, really expensive.
Saint-Onge did find help at the Summit Assistance Dog Center in Medicine Hat, Alberta, but she can't afford the $35,000 investment. She's turning to the public.
So over the past 6 months, we've held music events, we've held trivia nights, online raffles, we've had the GoFundMe link that's been live. We've been really working hard to try to get my story out there.
And if Saint-Onge can come up with a balance, she says she'll be able to once again have a resemblance of a normal life. Stéphane Giroux, CTV News.
Well, the Montreal Roses were in action against the Calgary Wild. The Roses got off to a very fast start. Latifa Abdou scored in the opening minute of the game to give Montreal a 1-0 lead. And then just 5 minutes later, Tanya Boychuk found the net. That made it 2-0 for the Roses. And that's how the match would finish, the Roses coming away with the victory. Here's a final look at the forecast. 25 degrees right now in Montreal. Slightly colder temps elsewhere. It's 17 in Sherbrooke and 18 in Quebec City. Environment Canada has issued a heat warning for Montreal tomorrow. With the Humidex, it is expected to be close to 40 degrees Sunday afternoon. And it will remain hot and humid to start the week. We will have plenty of sunshine on Monday with a high of 30, a chance of showers on Tuesday. Wednesday is expected to be sunny with the high nearing 30 degrees. And that's all from us. Thank you for watching. For the latest news, you can listen to the Joanne Vrackus Show tomorrow morning at 6 on CJAD 800. And of course, you can always head to our website, ctvnewsmontreal.ca, for more coverage. Have a great Saturday night and enjoy the rest of your weekend.